Good morning. Welcome to today's Friday Kitchen Science for Balch Nature School from our homes, from Miss Libre and Miss Carolyn today. Today, we're going to be exploring under and over how the plants grow. We've been talking about sprouting seeds and looking at different kinds of seeds over the weeks, but today we're going to look at how do the plants grow. We're going to start with just some everyday kitchen things. I cut open my avocado this morning, and look what I have inside. I have this wonderful seed kit. Miss Libre, you're upside down.
I am. I don't know how I got upside down.
Yes. And I'm going to take my kit and use it as a seed. We're going to look at all sorts of different kinds of seeds and ways that plants grow. We commonly think about plants growing from seeds. We buy seed packets in the spring, plant the seeds either in our soil inside our house early and then transplant them, or we plant them directly outdoors. Sometimes we save seeds like this echinacea corn seed. When I touch that, I get lots of seeds. And sometimes we cut open fruits and vegetables, and we've got the fruits especially, we've got our seeds. With vegetables, a lot of the plants we eat, we don't usually eat the seed part unless we're eating peas and legumes and beans. But we eat another part of the plant. We'll eat the root part. A carrot is a good example of a root vegetable. Now, if we planted carrot seeds, we're going to get the roots and the tops. But what would happen if we just planted the top? I wonder. We'll have to look at that. So seeds is a common way of planting plants. Another common one is using the tuber of a plant. Another vegetable that's common is a potato. Now, if you look at potatoes, you'll notice they have these wonderful, they call them eyes, these little tiny spots on them. But when you let them grow, they grow out little sprouts. We're going to talk more about how to use those for plant. Another kind of vegetable that we eat is a bulb, and it's the onion. A bulb has the complete makings for a plant. If you cut it in half, that middle section sometimes is a little bit green. That's the beginning of the leaf structure. So that's a bulb, and it has some of the roots still on the bottom. Got to remember what we can do with those. Now, another one in that same family that I found in my garden, it's not an edible, that we don't usually eat, are crocuses. And unlike the bulb that has the complete plant growing in it, if you were to open up one of these, they're called a corm, C-O-R-M. If you open up one of these, it won't have that leaf structure. It has to grow roots before the way inside of that bulb can grow its own leaves. It's a corm. Now, another plant structure that we use instead of planting by seeds is from a rhizome. And I've got this wonderful iris rhizome. It's instead of a seed, it grows off new parts from this part of the plant. It's sort of the stem that grows underground, and then it grows all these long roots down in. And with rhizomes, you can literally break off a piece and plant it in two different places. You can divide up rhizomes. A good example of an edible rhizome is ginger. There's a piece of ginger root. And when it gets those little sprouty parts, if you put it in soil, keep this pointing up, it will also grow another ginger root. It will add new knobs to the rhizome. We eat the rhizome of the ginger plant.
And Ms. Carolyn, would turmeric always also be considered a rhizome?
I think it is. Now, another plant that Miss Libre and I were trying to decide, is it a rhizome or not, are violets. And we do eat violet blossoms, and do we eat other parts of the violet as well, Miss Libre?
I'm not exactly sure about that. I know they're used in fragrance making, and they're used in desserts quite often, but the petals are all that I've eaten.
I've eaten the flower part. Well, those apparently are propagated by seed. And I'm not sure why that little bulby part is part of it, but that's what I've read. So we've looked at rhizomes, we've looked at bulbs and seeds. Now at home, you can investigate your own gardens, your own kitchens to find what you have. When you're eating, you can check to see, as your fruit or vegetable have seeds? Is it a rhizome? Is it a bulb? Come from a bulb? But next, we're going to look at, can you make new plants from these items? So we talked about planting from seeds, and you're familiar with that. What else can you plant directly into, and when you're planting, you've got to consider how you're going to grow it. In soil? Are you going to start the plant in water? Is it going to be on top of the ground or under the ground? And again, as you work in your gardens or plants at home, watch to see which things you plant on top, under, or in water. This morning we're going to do a couple of in water first, and then we're going to move on to some in dirt or on dirt projects. The first one we're going to show is doing a cutting with celery. So when you take out, when your mom or dad gets a celery out, or you see it in the grocery store, it looks a lot like this. It has this end that looks like it was cut off from where it was growing. It would have more leaves on top if you had just picked it out of the ground. They actually grow it with a lot of sand around it to keep it green, because it was to keep it lighter colored. But it grows like this. So the first thing we do is cut off 2 or 3 inches, and then Miss Libre, what comes next?
Oh, after, be sure to use the celery on top, because that's the best part.
Yes.
At my house, I cut the top off, and I got a tuna fish can with a small piece of paper towel inside that I kept moist. And the bottom of my celery, I cleaned off this end, like Ms. Carolyn was saying, so it could get a little better surface area to drink. And I put it in, and voila.
It's growing new celery.
It's growing new celery. This was planted 4 days ago.
So in 4 days,
that amount of time,
she's already got a crown on it that's probably 2 inches tall of new leaf structure growing. I took a beet, and my beet
see the different layers and how it's growing from the inside towards the outside.
That's pretty cool. That the plant, when she's growing it, it starts off in the middle. Well, it's going this way, but it starts growing in the middle first and then goes out. But I took a beet and I cut the top and I put it, and I ate the rest of the beet, and then I put my beet in a dish of water. And this has been in here for about 5 days, and I've got new leaf structure growing coming up right in the middle. And then when it gets another day or two, I'll set it in I'll set it on top with some soil. But I'm going to start it first with the water. So that's an idea for planting in water. Another familiar idea for planting in water would be to take my artichoke pit, clean it really good, let it set for overnight, and then put some toothpicks in it, set it in a glass of water, not in the direct sunlight, but in a warm place. In about 4 to 6 weeks, it should start to grow roots. It takes quite a while for the artichoke pit to start growing roots. The outside skin, I'll show you what that looks like. Here, will start to come off. It'll change color, it'll open up a little, and then pretty soon you'll start to see leaves coming out of the top and roots coming out of the bottom. Once you get some good roots, you can set that into dirt, leaving the top shoot out of the dirt, and then that's when it needs some sunlight. So that's another example of something you can plant in water first before to develop roots. Another one is...
So we've done stalks and leaves that we eat.
Yeah.
You did the roots of a beet, and I have some more roots we eat.
Ah.
These are carrot tops are more roots. I simply cut those off and put them in water as well. Right.
Yes.
And then you planted seeds. So we've done roots, stems, stalks, and seeds. What's left to grow?
And with a carrot top, I'm going to cut just an inch or so at the top. Eat the rest. That's the part you can set in the water and grow a new plant from. All right, so that's seeds. Now, remember we talked about the potato, the tuber vegetable, and how it has all those fantastic little shoots coming? Well, with potatoes, we're going to cut sections of the potato. We want 2 or 3 eyes, those little parts there. And when we plant it, we're going to put, if I put it into dirt, I would cover, leaving this part out. Now, as the plant grows, I need more dirt on it. I need to keep hilling dirt on it as the plant grows taller and taller. So what I would do with this, I could do it in a bag. I can do it in my garden. I'm going to start this one in dirt, our second way. And I've taken a milk carton. I put moist dirt in the bottom. I'm going to set my potato in with the shoot on top, and then add some more soil. Tap it down, put it in a warm, sunny place, and let it start growing. And like I said, when it gets a little bit of shoot on the top, I'm going to add more dirt. And when the greens start coming taller, I'm going to add more dirt until I fill the carton all the way up. And then in the fall, or when the greens start to die back, I can start digging out new potatoes. Mm-hmm. So here's another.
Miss Carolyn, I have an example of a potato I've cut and started but haven't put in soil yet. So, here's my potato. I cut it in 3 sections.
Yep.
And this section, the one that jumped out, you can see, possibly, little white roots. And then the shoots, those eyes Ms. Carolyn was talking about, are starting to come up. Here's another example of the greens.
So Ms. Libre started hers in water instead of soil. And when you do it in water, you can watch the root structure grow more. And
I could possibly have 1, 2, 3 more plants from this one piece. Every eye can create its own plant.
Yeah.
So when I'm ready, I could section this and plant those pieces individually.
She could. And by keeping them sort of together and spreading them out a little bit, gives them a little bit more space. but they say that 2 to 3 eyes per plant will give you 1 to 2 eyes will give you bigger potatoes. 2 to 3 eyes will give you more potatoes. So
Okay,
there's
good to know.
a good thing to know. And
That might be a good experiment itself.
that's right. You could try that. You could try one. You could even use a bigger container and try one with just 1 or 2 eyes, and then one container with 3 or 4 eyes, and compare and watch to see which one gets the most potatoes. We really would love to hear about your adventures with growing things, finding different ways to make plants grow. Remember to try to investigate all those different kinds of things that you see in your home and in your garden and outdoors, and have fun collecting and growing in this wonderful spring season.
And Miss Carolyn, I have one more quick challenge.
Oh.
After I cut my celery bottoms off,
Yes.
I still had stalks. I thought for fun, I put them in a little food coloring water to see what might happen. So I cut the bottom off so it could get a good drink. And then I noticed, I'm not sure if we can see, the tips of my leaves are blue.
Oh, so there's something you can explore further to find out what's happening.
How did the blue get to the top from the bottom?
Mm-hmm. Thank you much for joining us. We will put some other things for you to investigate from today's lesson up on our website at fairbanksmuseum.org. Underneath the Learning tab, check out virtual learning and see all the wonderful videos that we are putting up and posting for your convenience and for your fun. Thank you again, and have a great day.